Hi everyone, I'm doing this live really late because I had a busy day going down to Tempe to get appliance for my TMJ, which is like a couple hours away. So I was busy doing that all day today. So I'm a little tired, so bear with me. But this topic that I'm going to talk about is digestion. So here we go. Welcome to the podcast, Fibromyalgia Real Solutions with Amanda Love. You're listening to episode 11, where I talk about digestion. By the way, you can listen to this podcast wherever you are in the world at any time that you wish. I always include show notes for those with brain fog so you don't have to take notes. I do believe that there's a lot of information, both good and bad, out there about fibromyalgia. As an educator who specializes in this area, I think it's my job to point out to you that the beneficial information can be organized in a fashion that will reduce the symptoms of this malady. My name is Amanda Love, and I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia 9 years ago, which influenced my decision to enter the field of nutrition. And now I'm a registered holistic nutritionist who works with those who are suffering from fibromyalgia. I know this subject might not interest or excite you, but we need to discuss it because the workings of the GI tract play the major role in your health. This is especially true when it comes to autoimmune disorders such as fibromyalgia. So let's get going. The process of digestion is an extremely complex process. So let's start the discussion with some simple facts. First, there are two types of digestion. These are mechanical and chemical. Mechanical digestion begins with the physical action of the mouth when you begin to chew your food, which breaks it down into smaller pieces. This is followed by the action of the esophagus, which moves the food into the stomach. The chemical process of digestion begins when you start to chew, during which time 3 pairs of salivary glands activate, producing water, mucus, and enzymes. Amylase is the first enzyme to be released, which breaks down carbohydrates into sugar. An enzyme is a substance produced by the body that acts as a catalyst for sparking a specific biochemical reaction. As the food enters the stomach, muscles begin to grind the food around like a meat grinder to reduce the size of the food particles. As the stomach expands, it sends a message to the brain telling it that the HCl, hydrochloric acid, needs to be released by the pancreatic glands, which are in the stomach. The HCl is released in order to lower the pH levels and to kill off any harmful bacteria or pathogens that are there. As the pH levels go down, cells in the stomach trigger the release of a combo of enzymes that produce pepsin. This is a digestive enzyme that attaches to unfolded proteins. Proteins are made up of hundreds of linked amino acids, and when broken down, we can use these to build muscle and tissue. Cool, huh? The stomach also produces an alkaline mucus that's filled with sodium bicarbonate to buffer the low acid in the stomach and prevent the stomach from digesting its own muscle lining. Thank goodness. As we move into the next phase, the stomach slows down, the pH rises back up, and pepsin becomes ineffective. Entering the next phase, the food, now mostly liquid, is released by peristalsis in the first chamber of the small intestine, the duodenum, through the pleuric sphincter at the other end of the stomach. Here in the duodenum, we begin the third phase of the digestive process, the intestinal phase. The job of the duodenum is to first neutralize the acid with more bicarbonate from the pancreas. When the pH is high and the small intestine expands with food, The pancreas, liver, and gallbladder know they can start to deliver their own set of digestive enzymes. These enzymes that, like a higher pH, continue the digestion of carbs, fats, and proteins. Here are three main digestive enzymes and their functions. Amylase, which breaks down carbs to sugar, protease, which breaks down protein to amino acids, and lipase, which breaks down fat into fatty acids and glycosol. These enzymes are mostly released by the pancreas, but some come from the walls of the small intestine. The pancreas, in releasing these enzymes, are helped by the liver and the gallbladder. The liver produces a gray-colored enzyme called bile, which breaks down fats. The bile is stored in the gallbladder till it's needed to be released into the small intestine, where it assists in breaking down fat. Up to this point, we've had a lot of technical information, and there's one thing that is important to remember. That is that the majority of digestion and absorption happens in the small intestine. When digested food reaches the large intestine, there's a whole community of bacteria that transform our leftovers into vitamins, minerals, and fatty acids. Pretty outstanding. To recap, the process of digestion breaks down food into fuel or teeny particles that are water soluble and can be absorbed, mostly in the small intestine. Our body needs to break down fat, proteins, and carbs into sugars, amino acids, and fatty acids. At the end of this process, we're left with nutrients that our cells can absorb and use to fulfill our highest potential. While the topic of digestion may seem dry and boring, it's the beginning of understanding the connection between gut health and autoimmune diseases such as Hashimoto's, thyroid disease, and fibromyalgia to start. Therefore, to improve our gut health, we are going to talk about fiber helps lower blood cholesterol and stabilizes blood sugar levels, and it helps prevent colon cancer, constipation, obesity, and many other disorders. It's also good for removing toxic material from the body. Here's a recommendation for foods that support a healthy GI tract, in particular a healthy colon. Whole grain brown rice, whole grain cereals and flours, all kinds of bran, fresh fruit, and nuts. If you feel that you're not getting enough fiber, you may use supplements. These supplements should contain two types of fiber, soluble and insoluble. Women need 25 grams to 30 grams of fiber a day. Men need 38 grams of fiber a day. Fiber content is on food labels. If you have an acute episode of diarrhea, do not take any extra fiber as it may irritate the GI tract further. Hang in there, friends, because we are going to investigate this further to see where it is going. And I love sharing these episodes with you, and I've been so excited about all the listeners and feedback you are sending me. You could subscribe, which is free on iTunes, share, and get all the people you know who need this support to listen. Did any one thing resonate with you today? If so, leave it in the comments. That helps me create even more amazing shows for you. See you tomorrow, and thanks for being here. And if you want to learn more about my services, you can go to my website, www.amandalees.com, to schedule a free 20-minute call to discuss your health issues and my services. And number 2 is if you guys want to join my free fibromyalgia group, you could do that and put that in. I will put the link to both of those things in the comments. And I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. And tomorrow we are going to be talking about food allergies and food intolerances, which is one of my favorite topics. So see you guys tomorrow.